Good day, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whichever part of the world you are. I'm Captain Gaurav Rana from Sea and Beyond. Welcome to this webinar, and we're going to talk about Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, your career progression with the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. So just make yourself good. We'll take a little bit more time to start. Just ensure everyone is joined in.
Good afternoon, Captain Anupam, Jyoti. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So we still have a few more people joining in. So we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes before we start.
How is Mumbai range today?
Terrible.
You should say it's a blessing.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's required.
It is what it should be.
Right.
Yeah. It's definitely a very good weather to have samosas and chai during this 2:30 afternoon, for sure.
Yeah.
How many have registered today? How many are expected?
We've got about 66 who are online, and about 150 odd had registered. So we should have a few more joining in. All right. Let me take our first poll, and this to all the participants. You will have similar kind of polls during the webinar, and to all of you, the question which is on your screen should be, how did you hear about this webinar? So do let us know, and we will have similar questions coming in later part of the webinar as well. LinkedIn is fairly famous nowadays. It's very popular now in the maritime fraternity. Never used to be, like about 2-3 years back. As I see, most of the participants have heard about this webinar from LinkedIn, followed by email, and then from a friend. So we've got about 96% participation, 4% missing, but that's a good number. And let me end the poll and share results with everyone. So this is just for everyone to know where people heard about this webinar from. 56% from LinkedIn. Let me see. All right. Got 233. I think there will be people who will keep on joining in, but let's start. And I will record this session so that we can share this session with those who are not been able to attend, and also we will put it on our YouTube channel. So
I think you can wait for 2 more minutes. Just wait till because there are some people I can see they're still coming in.
Okay. In the meanwhile, what I'll request everyone is to please rename yourself to your real name. Sometimes it's the name of your device. I see a HP Guest, I see an iPhone, I see a Infinix. So if you could change it to your real name, and sometimes it's the name of your relative. So maybe just if you could do that, it'll kind of make it more better when we communicate. It's very easy to rename yourself. When you go on your name, against your name, there'll be band with three dots. Just right click on it, and you should be able to rename yourself from there. Yes, Karan, you already have a question. Go ahead, please.
An error by mistake.
Okay, we're just trying out different functionalities.
Gaurav, I think you can start now. We're at 2:35.
All right, great. I think we'll have some people joining in. All right, guys. Good day, everyone. I know there are people from different parts of the world joining in. I'm Captain Gaurav Rana. I run Sea and Beyond, and we are one of the recognized partner of ICS. With me on the presentation panel, we have Krishnan sir. He's the international chairman for ICS. We've got Captain Anupam, who runs Offing, who is also a fellow of ICS. And we've got Jyoti ma'am. Jyoti is the chairperson for ICS Mumbai, and she's of course with Reshamwala. So thanks everyone for joining in. The idea from this webinar is that a lot of people have aspirations to join commercial logistics. They may or may not know how to join in. What is the best way moving forward? A lot of people have questions about ICS, Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers. The answers to these questions are sometimes available, or they come from a friend of a friend, or some sources which are maybe they may not themselves are fully aware. So through this webinar, we have the top guys in ICS internationally and from India, and you can hear from them. But more importantly, if you have your questions, you can also ask those questions, and those questions will then be answered from them as such, right? So that's the purpose of this webinar. And while I introduce our speakers, let me take a quick poll to understand the audience as well. Okay, so here is a poll question for you. What is your current role? You are a mariner working at sea, a mariner working ashore, you are a logistics professional, or you are a student. So let us know what role you have, but and this gives me a chance to also welcome our speakers today. It's an honor and a privilege to have all the three speakers today. Mr. Krishnan Subramaniam, he's the international chairman of Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers and a chief learning officer at Transworld Academy. For me personally, he's been a guiding force to first make me understand a lot more about ICS, to help me become MICS and FICS, and of course driving ICS worldwide. So thanks Krishnan sir for joining in. We've got Jyoti ma'am. Jyoti is the chairperson of ICS Mumbai branch, and she's got 16 plus years experience in commercial shipping, and she's from the promoters family of Reshamwala, and she's very closely working on the commercial space as well. We've got Captain Anupam Raizada, who is actually FICS. Sorry, Anupam. MICS, of course, but now in FICS. I'm sure everyone would know Captain Anupam. He is the co-founder director at Offing, and he wears various many different hats as well. But I'll just keep the introduction very short over here. Let me just check from the attendees. I've got 90% of them who have voted, and let me share the results. We've got about 56% the attendees who are working at sea, who are mariners, 22% mariners who are working ashore, 14% logistics professionals, and 12% who are students. So that's the kind of audience which we have. I will, one second. I have another poll, and which I will just take in the next second or so. Okay, I don't see that poll right now, but how many of you would want to enter into commercial shipping or logistics? Maybe you can just put it on the chat window. A yes in terms of commercial shipping or logistics. How many of you would want to enter into this field? All right. I think the yes keeps on increasing. I think if you've got 90 odd professional people, 94 participants, it's a dream to some. Yes, of course. I'm sure it will be at least 75-80%. And a follow-up question to this is, why were you unable to enter into commercial shipping or logistics? Why? What stopped you? Was it you were not aware of the opportunities? You lacked knowledge? You are less on the network? You haven't tried maybe till now? Or it's probably all of the above? Yeah, I've got about 70% of you who have voted, and we'll wait for another 20 odd seconds for you to answer the poll. The last 10 seconds before we end the poll. Okay, and I'm ending the poll now and sharing the results with everyone. So most of the people are unable to enter because it's all of the above, which is basically unaware of opportunities, lack knowledge, network, they haven't tried. But it's either that or they are unaware of the opportunities which are presented in the market. Fair enough point. And with that in view, in terms of the audience which we have, in terms of the problem statement which we have, let me now come back to our panelists, to our experts, and ask them. Right. So we've got a mariner over here. We've got two non-mariners, and let me start with Krishnan sir. So how would you, sir, lay down a path for a person who is aspiring to get into the logistics commercial space, for them to enter? You yourself have been a non-mariner. You've kind of yourself made your own journey all the way to become a chairman of ICS, international chairman. So how would you suggest this journey to the candidates, please?
Great. Thanks, Captain Gaurav, for setting this up, and good to see a very fantastic attendance, I would say. That shows the level of interest and the level of where the country is going for the future, and especially the region as a whole. I would say the starting point is, and as some of you have selected that option also, is the awareness of the opportunities. I mean, today it's a dichotomy. It's an unfortunate or a contradictory situation. There's a problem of an overchoice. The moment you say commercial shipping itself, it is so wide. That's why I was glad to see some of them being very specific about shipbroking or chartering, right? So there's a commercial shipping. Actually, if you look at ICS, the motto, the vision of ICS is to enhance professionalism in commercial shipping. And if you look at the syllabus of ICS, I'm sure many of you would have already looked at that, is that along with the 4 compulsory subjects, you've got 12 optional, that encompasses commercial shipping, which is liner trade, which is port and terminal management, which is maritime law, shipping, finance, you've got marine insurance. That entire ecosystem is commercial shipping, including logistics and multimodal transport, port agency. Then, of course, chartering, you've got dry, liquid. And as we speak, we're coming up with a new subject on break bulk and project cargo, because we are not bifurcated, and that has become a specialization now, right? Offshore shipping industry. So first of all, I would suggest all of you to please have that particular information, which is available in the ICS website. We will share something with you as well. And as well, all of us are available in terms of giving you guidance on what this industry is about, right? Then, of course, research the companies, because ultimately, all of us are looking to further our career. Some of you, looking to get into your first job assured. Some of you who are students, getting into your first job. So look at that potential in terms of what this industry is about. And then where is the growth? Because ultimately, we want a stable job, though the definition of a stable job has changed drastically and continues to change with every event which is happening. There's nothing known as a permanent job now, right? So that should be the starting point, right? Then comes the aspect of what is your real aptitude in those particular jobs. I mean, since Captain Gaurav mentioned that, let me give my example. I had no clue about this industry when I joined Bharat Petroleum as a management trainee. I just wrote after graduation. I'm a physics graduate by qualification. And then, of course, I wanted to enter in one of the fields as an officer or a management trainee. And Bharat Petroleum was the first one which I cracked. And posted in Kandla, one of the busiest port. I'm seeing a tanker for the first time. Yes, I knew about a little bit about, okay, you see petrol pumps, you know where it is coming, something about refinery, etc. But that was my only knowledge at that point of time. So it was not by design or choice that I entered this field. But having been there, then that gave that opportunity. Of course, BPC had a fantastic training program, right, from induction in various places, then classroom training. And then, of course, we were going as boarding officers on the ships, so knowing about or learning more about tankers, etc. And then, of course, when I was posted in Mumbai, that's exactly 30 years back, I started doing the course in NMIS. So I started attending the classes there. Then, of course, within a year in 96, I got the opportunity with Shell in Dubai. And then that's when I looked at ICS and then, moved into chartering, etc. So I would say always pick up what suits you. We have got many tools available, whether it is on a psychometric test or aptitude test, which are there. So do not go by even the generic titles of the papers which are there, or just chartering, because chartering means different for a ship owner versus a shipbroker versus a charterer. The kind of competence required is different, though the subject or the title may be chartering. So I would stop at this point to give or to digest this information and then discuss further. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Krishnan sir. and then to also share your journey a bit and also the starting points where a person could start. I'll probably now ask Jyoti. Jyoti hires a lot of people in her own company, and she's the first point where a person has to connect, and then they get hired. So what do you suggest, Jyoti? How's the starting point? And also, if you can give insights in terms of what do you look at, if when you're interviewing people, and I'll kind of give everyone a little bit of a view that how should they be preparing as well. So over to you.
Thank you, Gaurav, and thank you, Mr. Krishnan. It was really insightful, kind of giving an understanding that when someone applies for a job, it's very important to know what kind of a role they want to be playing in that company. Do they really want an post-fixture operations job or a shipbroker's job? And do they know the drill behind, getting into commercial shipping? I mean, unlike 9 to 5 jobs, shipping is an international job where ships are running round the clock, making it a round the clock job. So, what are we looking at when we are recruiting? Number one is the dedication. Is this candidate gonna give that 100%? Is he firstly that person who's picking up the call at any given point of time? Because shipping is the nature of the work is such that you need to be available to your principals at any given point of time. A waiting time or a lag time from a broker's end can obviously lead to high costs on the vessel, especially in terms of demurrage. So, keeping this in mind that, when someone is applying for a job, they really need to be sure, are they ready to give those hours? Shipping, commercial shipping has a lot of understanding of the people they work with. So, understanding the working structure of your principal is very important. Certain people, they would want you to, kind of present a work in a certain way. Whereas some people don't like any other information apart from the information that is required for their, work life. So you have to realize what your principals need. So if a candidate is ready to kind of go for that drill, then commercial shipping is meant for the students. I don't mean to scare anybody, but they need to understand the fact that they are handling a $100 million asset.
Absolutely. So dedication and being able to be alive 24/7 and be absolutely active. So thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Jyoti. Moving on to Captain Anupam. You've been a mariner. I'm sure the first field which you would have aspired to be in would have been commercial shipping. It's a different point. You are doing that now. You're a vessel owner yourself. You have mentored people who want to get into commercial shipping, logistics. You've taken the whole journey yourself. So your thoughts on how people, professionals could plan their journey and get successfully into this field.
So thanks. To begin with, I very happy to see that on a Saturday afternoon we have more than 100 people attending this. So hats off to all of you. Thank you so much. The other thing is, when you put the poll up, I saw that the maximum people who are attending this webinar are people who are working at sea, number one. And the second is the people who are mariners who are working ashore. Now, what happens is, I can tell you my my aspiration and my wish, and I think most of the mariners out there, that we always felt that the chartering and the commercial department are a little superior to all the other departments. We have this something in our heads because when we are sailing on board vessels, we get instructions from charterers, brokers, operators. The master has said go from point A to point B. So somehow we automatically feel they are, on the top of the chain. Of course, I don't want to disregard that. There's a teamwork. FIFA is going on, so till the ball is not passed, the commercial team is not going to hit the goal. So yes, it's a teamwork. But having said that, there is a little bit of a big balloon that in commercial shipping is the best, and in a way, it is. So number one to start with. Number two, a lot of people, including me, when I also did my ICS, we thought commercial shipping, as in fact Mr. Krishnan also touched that, commercial shipping is only basically dry cargo chartering, tanker chartering, sale and purchase. That's it. The world ended there. To be honest, even in our own ICS, there are so many subjects now, right from marine insurance, ship finance, liner trades. There is offshore support industry, which I am very involved in. Then there is ship operations and management. People think that giving ICS has got nothing to do with ship operation. If you do not know how to operate ships, you will never be able to fix ships. So if you see the number of subjects we have, it's commercial shipping encompasses the whole thing. So people, all the people who are present here, please do look up to the ICS list of subjects, and there are many subjects which will excite you. And it doesn't mean that if you don't take up dry cargo chartering or a sale and purchase, that you cannot, the ICS has got a lot to offer. So I will stop now, and as we progress, we will say again. But it's a good industry to be in. And one last thing before I give your exams. It is not necessary that as soon as you give your exam, you will get a job. But trust me, this knowledge will be always available with you, and you never know when you will be able to utilize it. So just enroll yourself and get it done. Thank you.
Absolutely. Very rightly said. Very rightly said. Thank you so much, Anupam. Let's now come back and hear from the audience in terms of how familiar are you with Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, and so that will give us some kind of an information and how deep do we get into explaining to you about ICS. So there will be two questions on your screen. Number one will be how familiar are you with the ICS, and those who say they are familiar with ICS, how many branches does ICS have worldwide? And the options will be there. But let's hear from the audience, and then I will request Krishnan sir to. So just sharing the results of the poll. 54% have heard about ICS but are unaware of the benefits, and that's exactly why we are doing this webinar. 28% know a little bit, 7% haven't heard, and 11% are actually taking the exams. The number of branches of ICS worldwide, 36% feel it's 28. All right, guys. Thanks for your response, and let me bring in Krishnan sir right now. So Krishnan sir, first of all, if you could educate us, how many branches are there for ICS worldwide? And then if you could tell us a little bit more about ICS, the vision, the mission, how it's adding value to the industry. How do you see ICS probably take shape in Dubai, in Singapore, and your vision for ICS in India? So over to you, sir.
Great. First of all, yeah. So hopefully we should have the 28th branch this year or early next year. So we are at 27 now. And why it's important? Because ultimately the value to a member is delivered through the branches, right? So we are a 115-year-old institute, established, headquartered in the UK, in London, through the Royal Charter. And we are the only one in this industry who have the authority to issue a chartered shipbroker status. You know, it's a very big thing, just like chartered accountancy, for example. And you've got many other businesses or areas and domains where the institute is similar institutes are authorized to give a chartered status. That's a unique one. Yes, you have a lot of certificate programs. The second thing to understand is that any qualification or none of the qualification which we attain, whether it's a degree or even what we do in terms of certification, guarantees our next step in our career, whether it's a job or even continuation in that job or even progression, right? It comes back to the individual in terms of what they perform, as Jyoti rightly mentioned. You know, so I also sit in interview panels of various companies in terms of what they bring to the table in terms of getting the job done and then aligning with the company's goals and visions, right? So that is the crux of the whole thing. But then what is the benefit of doing this? So ICS, I would say in two parts. Again, let me start with my own personal the journey there. As I mentioned, I started with an MIS, did not complete. And incidentally, I stepped into their office exactly after 30 years just last week. So we're all there together. It was really nostalgic. It was the same office. And so I did not complete there because I moved to Dubai by that time. So I was hunting. Okay, I should learn something. I was already hooked on to know and learn more about shipping. Thanks to my mentors in Bharat Petroleum and the Oil Coordination Committee, I was handling LPG shipping planning when I was in Mumbai for a year. And so the international branches were opened up only during the 80s. Initially, it was only in the UK. In the 80s, it was open to Commonwealth countries. And only in the 90s, to be precise, in 95, that was just at the time when I moved to Dubai, that the UAE, it was known as the UAE branch at that point. And most of the international branches came in 1995, because that was the time there were already members from different parts of the world, and they were permitted to open branches. And that was a significant step and a major change, which gave access to people, because ultimately there is, all of us look for an ROI. I'm investing my time and money into getting a certification. What is in it for me? How is it going to benefit me? So for me, the decision was between doing an MBA and doing a certification. And I found ICS as the best one, which suited my goals. So be very clear as to what your goals are. Do not go with the same brush everywhere in terms of telling that Mr. Krishnan did this, Captain Anupam did this, therefore it is going to do good for me. Do not do that. I mean, that applies to anything which you do in life, any qualification which you are pursuing, right? So that you be very clear where you want to be. This is the industry you want to be. And then within that, then of course, we are available to guide you exactly. You want to know more about tanker side, more about dry, more about break bulk, more about offshore. We have got experts available who will guide you exactly in terms of what is in that field. The second part is that the knowledge part you gain by writing the exam, by passing the exam. I would say that's just the beginning. Passing the exam, getting your MICS is just the beginning of the journey. The biggest value comes from being part of the network. And again, all of us can give our own personal example as to why we continue to pay our annual subscription. Of course, you may say that I'm now the international chair, therefore there's a value, but it has come in the span of the last 28 years. You know, it doesn't come automatically. And there is a value which is derived personally into the businesses I'm doing, or even the jobs which I have been doing. There is a value addition. And that is why we invest that time and money into this, right? Whether it is writing the exam, getting that certification. And again, it purely depends upon you. Because one of the common question when I go around the world meeting members is that, oh, the institute has not added value to me. It doesn't come automatically. Being part of that network, reaching out, finding out there are plenty of webinars which are happening exclusive for members. There are publications which are exclusive for members. And there are, and today there are WhatsApp groups. Different branches operate differently. WhatsApp group exclusively for members, which generates business, which answers queries. And again, giving an example of the Middle East branch where I've been associated. I was in Singapore also for 3 years, part of that branch, and then moved back to Dubai. So the WhatsApp group of the members is the first point of contact for an informal KYC, which you wouldn't get anywhere else. Even if you subscribe to some, you wouldn't get a real authentic KYC, right? Of any party, whether it's a supplier. You want something to be done in a different part of the world, especially in today's age of disruption. Our members group has been the first point of contact for any information and for the first response, right? So that again comes out of the branch being active. That's why you will see in India, we have 2 branches. One is in Mumbai, the other is in Chennai. And there are plans in terms of revamping. The committee, as you see, chaired by Jyoti, is a very young committee, just started a week back. But the opportunities in India is huge. And therefore, I'm sure that all of you will be benefited to the fullest extent. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Honestly, I passed ICS exams. I don't know, about 13 years back. I became a member 2 years, just 2 years back. And one of the reasons why I became a member is, of course, you. But it's also, you when I saw the kind of networking, the kind of advantages, the kind of value that people are deriving in ICS branches in Singapore, Dubai, and the work that's being done, I mean, it is just phenomenal. And moving on to India now, we've got, as you said, a young, committee chaired by Jyoti. So here, I'd like to ask Jyoti in terms of, if you could tell a little bit more about ICS Mumbai, what are your plans? Also, if you could tell, if a person now wants to become a member of ICS, how can they become a member? So yeah, if you could tell a little bit more and the value that a person can is deriving from ICS.
Sure. Thanks, Gaurav. Firstly, I would like to talk about the opportunities in India. I am not aware how many people have been reading and the government's plans, but if you see the Maritime India Vision 2030, it says that there's going to be a 2 million job requirement in India. In terms of in logistics and shipping and renewable energy and port development, putting all of that together, there is going to be a huge, we're going to see a great requirement from in terms of shipping. And as rightly, when you did the poll, basically people did not know much about shipping. Like I think it was 30% of the people did not were unaware of the opportunity in shipping. And that is the idea that India has now has shifted its focus into shipping. Now coming to the ICS Mumbai branch, I will apart from the benefits, we are holding examinations. The branch has been actively involved in networking events, creating webinars. There are various opportunities, and of course, the branch connects you to the global platform, which is the most crucial thing in shipping. Networking is a very important part in commercial shipping as well as in any other any other sectors in the maritime business and trade. For example, I'll give an example where I had to connect with someone in Fiji for some work. It was a small work, but it was very easy for me just going through my ICS members and then just connecting with someone from Fiji. It was, it gets that simple for people. So the Mumbai branch, has been, I'd like to share some of the details. Can I get a screen share?
Absolutely. I think you can share your screen.
Thanks. I'll just share the details here. Yeah. Okay. So this is the ICS Mumbai branch website. It clearly explains the registration process, the last year's examination papers, the exam centers. Obviously we are trying to get more centers to reach people who are, outside the Mumbai area. So the branch has been fairly active and bringing in more value for the students. There is tutorships if as and when needed, which students usually reach out for. Apart from that, if there's any requirement from students, from members, it's important to reach out to the branch. And that's when we can, kind of help and add value, to especially members who would like to connect and be a part of, the global platform and the India platform.
Right. So I will come back to you again, Jyoti, maybe understanding a little bit more on the number of qualifications that a person has can do can have from ICS. But let me go to Captain Anupam. Anupam, I guess you also passed your exams fairly early, and then you became a member a little late. But why did you become a member? What's the value that you yourself have got? What is the value that you have seen others around you? You've mentored a lot of people who wanted to get into commercial shipping. So if you can, tell me about the value that we've got from ICS.
Yeah, sure. So, like many, again, and the poll, they said that they want to go into commercial shipping, but don't know how. So, way back in 2006, I gave my exams, and it was one of those things. There are a lot of chats which are saying that we have done MBA in shipping and finance, and somebody saying they're already doing MBA. I'm seeing the chats. You can continue doing what you're doing, but ICS will definitely help you, and I'll tell you how. I was heading to Colombo for nothing to do with ICS. It was a inspection of a ship that got no commercial interest. I reached out to, so we have when you become a member, you can go to the website, you can actually go to the list of countries, and then you can see who's a member there. So you can do that way. But I found an easier way. I just WhatsApp Mr. Krishnan, and he's ever available. And he just sent me a list of 10 people who I could reach out to. And I didn't reach out to all 10, but I reached out to 4 of them. And you know how I started my conversation? My conversation was simple. I'm an ICS member from Mumbai and I'm in Colombo. Can we meet? There was absolutely no need of any introduction, what I do, who I do. It was not even, what business, why should we meet? It was as simple as that. 2 ICS members want to meet. We met all 4. I met all 4 of them in succession. Some even joined the same time. We had a couple of beers. And I could say that after 3 meetings, we are probably going to do some business with them as well. So all I'm saying is the credibility of this course, because you become an ICS member and you have put in efforts, you have, written your exams, automatically the other person who's also an ICS member values it. And then there are no further questions asked that why should I meet you? What business? And he's even not thinking, kya puchega mujhse? So it's and okay, that this is one. Second, we formed a new committee. In fact, Mr. Hariharan has also joined. He's also one of the committee members. Which I, just because we are ICS members, we entered into the room of the CMD of SCI. And how can you do it otherwise? What would I tell the CMD of SCI, sir? I would like to meet you for what? Well, when I say, sir, I am a member of ICS, interestingly, he's a fellow of the ICS. We got an audience from him. So I'm saying this is the value of this course. And of course, it helps in business. And Colombo was one example. It could be in Singapore, it could be in London. I actually reached where I was in London about 2 months ago. I just went to the London office and just visited them, and they gave me some more references. So as Jyoti mentioned, as Krishnan sir mentioned, it is all about networking. And here you have a very, very, very credible platform which allows you to do that. So let's not lose that opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. So we heard about Jyoti's case in Fiji, yours in Colombo. I've got help in Singapore, Dubai. Yes, Krishna sir, you wanted to speak.
Just to want to add here is that, and there's a question which sometimes comes up. So always bear in mind that you are a member. The moment you become a member or then subsequently a fellow, you are a member or fellow of the global organization. You're not a member or fellow of that branch. The branch is purely an administrative setup. Like I moved from here to Singapore for a couple of years. So Singapore, since there was a branch, I moved the membership also there, and then of course started volunteering there, teaching there, etc. I was doing that in Dubai anyway. But you could be moving to a place where there is no branch available, right? So then administratively, either you remain with the same. There are people who have moved out of UAE. The UAE is, or Middle East is, a transient kind of a workplace, similar in Singapore. In fact, Indians constitute the maximum percentage in terms of members now. If you put all these places together, whether it is Hong Kong, Singapore, India, of course, and the Middle East, or even now in the UK, right? So that's the first thing you have to bear in mind. And we're working on this framework, and I would say that time is right, that in the next couple of days or weeks, we would have a new CRM in place, which is going to even give like a primary branch and a secondary branch. So for example, I travel frequently to India, so I want to know what is happening there, so I automatically get notified. Today, manually it has to be done, or I have to look up at the LinkedIn page of Mumbai branch or Chennai branch, right? So we are working on a framework where any event globally is free for the ICS member in any other branch, of course, subject to their the local that particular event detail, because some events there could be a nominal charge for the members. Most of the time it is free, depending upon how that is structured. So this you have to be very clear that you are part of a global community. The branch is there from an administrative point of view. If you move places, you can move branches. So even within India, when people move, say, I'm going to be most of my time in Chennai, I want to move the branch administration there because I will derive more value by being there. It's perfectly fine. I just want to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a global network which we are part of. And I think let me just give one more example. While we gave examples of how businesses have kind of leveraged ICS, but individuals also, right? We know there's a chief engineer, Sumit. I'm not sure whether he's here, but most mariners, and there are many mariners here, they feel that people from the deck side, they have an advantage and they can get into commercial space. But we've got Sumit, who's a chief engineer. He did his ICS. He went to Dubai. He approached a few companies, and now he's working as a broker in one of the companies in Dubai. The point that I'm trying to make is it's not just business, it's individuals, many more individuals like these who have who could leverage their ICS qualification. And so the question now comes is, how do you become an ICS member? What's the pathway? And maybe first I'll ask Krishnan sir over here, in terms of, sir, what are the different qualifications for a person to get into ICS? What are the qualifications which ICS offers? Please, and then I'll, how the qualifications are offered, that probably I'll ask Jyoti about that. But what are the different qualifications that ICS offers, sir?
The flagship is called the PQE, or the Professional Qualifying Examinations, where to become a member, you have to pass the PQE. That is step number 1. Step number 2 is where you have to be, you have to go through a vetting process, initially from the branch, and then it goes with a recommendation to the Controlling Council, and where I am the chairman of the Controlling Council now. And so we meet at regular intervals and approve those applications. Even whether it is for promotion to fellow, the same process happens. So for that, there are 7 papers in the PQE which you have to pass. Then, of course, there are a couple of details which we will share with you. It's available on the website also, in terms of exemptions. How does it work? Can I get an exemption because I've done, say, maritime law from another university? Yes, there are provisions for that. But the base case is you have to pass 7 papers to qualify to become an MICS, and then an approval goes from the branch to the Controlling Council. However, within the same exam format, we have 2 more parts where you start small, where you do 2 papers, where in the case of foundation diploma, it's known as Introduction to Shipping, and one of the optional subjects, 2 papers, both in same sitting, pass both of them in the same sitting, you get a foundation diploma. For example, you could do a foundation diploma in tanker chartering by writing Introduction to Shipping and tanker chartering, or any other subject, right? Whichever you think suits you as a starting point. The second one is Advanced Diploma, which is another paper called Shipping Business, which is compulsory, and then an optional one. So you could do, say, in the second tranche, you could do Shipping Business and, say, Ship Operations and Management. So therefore, you get an Advanced Diploma in Ship Operations and Management. Now, this does not automatically say lead you to membership. It turns out this credit gets carried forward for you to write the balance papers out of the 7 to become the member ultimately. But we have found this as advantageous in 2 ways. One is, even when I was writing an exam after so many years, right? So it eases that pressure, telling that, oh, I have to write 7 papers and it's still a written 3-hour essay type. So it eases that pressure in terms of writing 2 papers, take it slow, you get the confidence, write the balance papers and more. Second thing is, it immediately gets an opportunity to put in your CV telling that I'm an advanced diploma in tanker chartering, I'm an advanced diploma in dry cargo chartering. And people who understand the ICS know that, yeah, it's just the 2 papers, right? So these are the 3 ways I would say in terms of getting started. Then, of course, most of the candidates are all working professionals. They will do self-study, but there are different pathways available in terms of seeking help. Where you would say CNBeyond is one example where they have gone tutorship. They are accredited by the ICS head office and authorized to deliver tutorship programs. There are many other recognized partners and international teaching centers similar to them in other parts of the world. There is one tutorship directly from head office, right? And then many branches conduct their own local versions of tutorship and contact classes. So these are all different ways to prepare.
Great, sir. There's been a question from Ravin, and I thought maybe I'll just ask this now. Is there a way a person can become a member through a research project as well, or is it just through passing these papers?
Good question. I think you have done your research. So there is a membership part by dissertation. So this is intended for highly seniors in the industry, where we can't expect them to come and sit and write an exam. It's not that they wouldn't pass, but then, so these are real senior people, academicians, and only recently we have revamped that procedure, because earlier it also entailed writing 1 exam of shipping business, then you start the dissertation process. And based on feedback, after a complete review last year, we removed that stipulation. So it's purely a dissertation, but it goes through a rigorous examination in terms of a discussion with the education committee. But the quick answer is yes, that it is available. But then to qualify for that, look at the complete guidance document which is out there in the website. And if there are still doubts, you can reach out to any of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So just summarizing, if a person wants to qualify for ICS, you've got 2 diplomas and then of course the full membership, which we can take. So in the diplomas, you just need to give 2 examination, but in the membership, you will have to have pass or get exemption for 7 papers. Now coming to you, Jyoti, if you could guide a person in terms of you of course show the website where a person can register, but how is the schedule? When do the exams actually happen? When is the registration generally? Maybe not just the dates, but when does the registration generally happens? Is there a discount or a early bird discount in terms of registering yourself? So if you could just tell a little bit more about how can a person enroll for ICS, please?
Yeah, sure. So again, I'll share screen. Okay. So, browser tab. Yeah. So the examination, basically the registration happens from the shipbrokers.org.
Just one second, Jyoti, the screen is still uploading. We're not able to see the screen. Just oh, it was uploading, so now I don't think it's uploading. If you could try again, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. We can now see the website icsmumbai.in/exams.
Yeah. So if you see that, we've basically given all the students the details for the examination, which can be done. So you basically click on shipbrokers.org. It loads the email address. You have to register as and apply online for the ICS examinations. I'll also brief you on the fee structure. Again, now I will change my screen share. Sorry. There you go. So the student registration, this happens annually. So someone would have to pay about £149 for that. The standard, the examination entry, the normal, which is going to happen after the 25th of September, would be £189 per subject. However, there's an early bird, and I would recommend most students to use the benefits of an early bird, and that would be until 25th of September, and you get a fairly large amount of discount on that, so it's £113. There are also exemptions, maximum 3 exemptions that can be achieved. And these are for people who are already in the industry, and Mr. Krishnan has already briefed them that they can apply for exemptions, as they don't need to sit for the complete examination and go through the whole challenges of writing an exam, especially people who are from a who are already in the in the field and are quite senior, so they could kind of they didn't have to write the entry level exam and then they go straight for the major subjects, which would enhance their skill set. Again, tutorship is available online, and there's course material along with it. So there are various ways in which you can reach out to the branch, and we could help and assist with it. As Mr. Krishnan again rightly said, that's, C and Beyond is our authorized partner too, and can, people can reach out, and again through if they need any further assistance, we are there. And there's an administration fee of £43. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I think, I mean, till 25th of September, if you register yourself, there is a fair amount of savings which you could get. So, and but the registration is valid for 2 examination cycle. So, so even if you register now, you could probably give exams either in November or I guess in March is the next exam when it happens. So you can give it in that time. So now is the right time for anyone who would like to register as such.
Yeah,
Now,
and registrations yeah.
Sir, yes, the registrations are also open. Correct. Coming back to we've now known the process, we know the fees. Now, let me just please, Anupam, go ahead.
There are a lot of questions here which say what are the basic requirements to do this exam. Maybe is there? I mean, I know the procedure, but if Mr. Krishnan or Jyoti is being a master mariner required? Because I have a lot of questions in the chat box that who's eligible to give this exam. So if you can just answer this, please.
Yeah, it's normally I've looked at the exact wording there to be absolutely correct, but anybody it's not mandatory that you have to be a master mariner or a chief engineer to do this. Anybody with GC A plus, if you can quickly look that up, and with 1 year of work experience in that related field, is the one who can become a member. Anybody can do an exam. We have got university students who are doing this exam and passing them now. It's that easy. And I want to sound it that way, right? So exam is not, it doesn't stop anybody from writing the exam, but to become a member. So we had a case in UAE and one in India as well, from Gujarat, who completed or passed all the 7 papers while they were still at university or in the final year of university. But they had to wait for 1 year of work experience before they could be elected as a member. Right? So I would suggest start off, and then we started getting into their how they did the preparation. Is just because they're continuing that student journey. It was easy for them, though did not have the practical experience. Of course, they invested a lot of time with us in terms of understanding the industry, attending seminars, webinars, reading, researching, etc., which helped them to pass the exam. And some of them did that in the first attempt. Right? So writing the exam, you can start immediately, but becoming a member, by the time I'm sure that many of you are already working, it's just a 1 year work experience.
Awesome. Great. So we've now know the qualifications which is presented by ICS. We now know the process of enrolling yourself. It's fairly easy. You just need to go through the website. We now know the timelines, and we know the timeline is now, which is essentially before 25th September, you get good discount. And we probably would want to know about the examination center, for which I have a poll. But before that, Krishna sir, you would like to say something?
Yeah, so one thing to bear in mind, especially since majority are seafarers, we have got 2 examination. The November timetable is already published, and then it will be in the month of May 2027. So the exam cycle starts now from June to May. So the registration fee which was shown is valid for the entire 12 months, right from June 2026 to May 2027. So you don't pay an additional registration fee for writing the May exam. So ideally, many of them just split it, either 3 + 3 or I'll do 2 + 2, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, depending upon when you get your shore leave, please look at the time. That's why timetables are published well in advance. Would you get shore leave to do that? We are not yet in the digital exam stage. That should come in a year or 2. The process is already on, right? But till that time, please look at the timetable before enrolling for the November exam, right? And of course, if due to unforeseen circumstances, you're not available, there are always options to do a deferment, etc., etc. Right. So as a starting point, please plan with whatever information is available and what are the published timetables for the November exam.
Right. So we know about the life cycle of the exams, but let me just take this poll before we jump onto the Q&As, because I see there are a lot of questions on the chat window and I wouldn't want to hold the questions up. So just this one poll about examination center. Do you know how many examination centers are there in India for ICS? The first 18 seconds, I've got 60% of us who have voted. That's a very quick answer, right? And I hope we kind of wrap up this poll quickly so that we go on to the questions which everyone has asked on the chat window. Another 10 seconds, guys, and then I'll stop the poll. I'll end the poll. Okay, I'm ending the poll, and I think the results are no clue, which is by most of the participants. Then 24% said 2 or 5. But I think the point that we want to make is that wherever you are in India, if you have an issue going to a examination center, right now it's in Chennai, it's in Mumbai, and also some have given exams in Ahmedabad. But if you are anywhere else and you would like to take exams, reach out to the Mumbai branch, reach out to us at C and Beyond, and we could support you in giving in having arrange for another examination center as well. So if the travel is an issue, that's something which can be taken care of. Of course, Krishnan sir would add on to this. Please, sir.
Yeah, so just to add to that, we do have additional centers even now in Delhi, in Kolkata, in Mangalore, in Cochin. So it has come to a point of real flexibility. Even in Middle East, we have centers, I think, in all the countries, depending upon the number of students who are appearing from there. We have even done a special center for one student, because that it takes some additional effort from the branch and the head office, but it is being done. So not being able to travel should not be a deterrent. You're in some other part of the country and you request that, can we have an exam center here? If we find how we can administer it properly and diligently, we even get that done.
Right. And do write to us on education@cnbeyond.com if you want to kind of have an examination center anywhere in India. We could possibly help you on that. So sometimes, and this is a practical problem, a person wants to just give 2 exams, 1 exam. The person is in Jammu, he wants to travel all the way to Bombay, Delhi. It might be a logistical issue. So we could maybe try and see where we could arrange an examination center. So I think let's now jump to the questions. There are a lot of questions, queries which are there on the chat window, and I'll try and moderate to the best of my ability. Okay, I think
you should just start from. You should probably just start from the one which said the first question, because there are a lot of them.
Correct. I'm doing that. So this one is from Zoom user. I wouldn't know the name, but I see this question being repeated again and again. And probably, Anupam, I'll ask this question to you. The summary is that how does a person select the subjects that he or she wants to take? How did you choose your subjects?
We were luckier. We didn't have many subjects. There were not many options. We just had tanker chartering, dry cargo chartering, sale and purchase, shipping business, of course, compulsory, economics of international sea trade, compulsory, shipping law, so there were not many subjects. So it was very simple that I chose dry cargo tanker, because I was sailing on tanker vessels. I just out of, I said I will do tanker chartering. I also sailed on bulk carriers, so I said I'll do dry cargo chartering. I was keen on sale and purchase, so I did sale and purchase. And the beauty is, today I don't do any dry cargo chartering. I don't do any tanker chartering, but I do offshore chartering. So, and there is a subject called offshore. So, how do you choose subjects? First of all, please, again, I say go to the list of subjects. People who are sailing, you might actually find not the chartering subjects all that interesting. You might actually find shipping finance, marine insurance, marine law, uh, what is the other one? Multimodal logistics and transport, people who are into the container. There's, of course, liner trade. So there are many other subjects other than just pure chartering which are available. So now, how do you choose? Well, it could be either Ina, Mina, Mina, Mo, or it could be, just see which subject you really like. Like I saw there are some guys from MBA in finance. They could probably do shipping finance. Imagine if Jyoti is recruiting a person, or maybe Krishnan sir is recruiting a person into the sale and purchase department. If a person has got if a person has got MBA in finance, and imagine he's got ICS shipping finance, and say he's also got ship sale and purchase, he's going to be a grab. Somebody's going to grab him like today. So this is how you choose your subject. It is definitely your choice. There are certain subjects which are compulsory, which you can't avoid. And I think there are some questions which is, there's a question that I think I'm 50-year old, I'm a master mariner. I'm just going to take that one. And I've got 30 years of experience. Sir, excellent if you got 30 years of experience. And even if you give that exam today, and imagine if you give an exam on ship operations, forget the chartering part. If you give an example on marine law, because probably you have seen so many cases in your life in this 30 years of experience, you will be an asset to your own self to begin with, and then to any company you probably are working for. So that's all I can say for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Anupam. Let me bring Hariharan as well over here. Hariharan is part of the managing committee of ICS Mumbai. And Hariharan, how did you choose the subject which you wanted to appear for an ICS?
My apologies, my mic was on mute.
No issues.
Good evening, everybody. Can I have the question again, please? You were asking about the subjects.
Yes, so the question from the students is that how do they choose which subjects do they want to take?
Okay.
So do you have any guidance on that?
Okay, so in my personal experience, what I have observed is that, see, being in shipping, there is the technical part, there's the commercial part, and there is the allied part. The allied part includes people who are not specifically educated for the shipping work. So basically, I'm a graduate in science, but I did my MBA in finance and marketing, then joined the shipping industry. So for me to choose, say, an operations was a difficult choice at the beginning. But then, like Mr. Krishnan has explained, like Madam Jyoti has also explained, it was very easy to opt for something that you're already doing. So when I started this ICS, I was working in a technical department, trying to understand acquisitions and disposals. But then when the real time came in to choose the subjects, I had graduated into the marine insurance department. So I took a club of what I wanted to know and what I already was doing. So that, I believe, should be a fair combination for anybody. If you're a mariner, you choose some subjects. Compulsory subjects obviously cannot be avoided. Those subjects have to be done. But what will help you essentially is if I want to do, say, if I'm in tanker chartering, but I may not have experienced myself in, say, bulk chartering. So I would possibly want to do that. Now, in my case, I was already doing marine insurance. I had already done ship operations, so that. But yes, I would like to compliment what Captain Anupam had just said, that I thought that ship operations and management would be a breeze for me. Trust me, it wasn't a breeze. Every page that you go through in that book is like you're relearning what you had to learn, earlier to do your job well. So I chose ship operations, and I did my advanced diploma, and that's something I would like to tell the audience that when it was daunting to look at all the 6 subjects, of course I had an exemption in one subject, but when 6 subjects, when I had that option, I took the advanced diploma route. So I wanted to prove to the world that I can do it, and I will start with an advanced diploma. So I took it in one sitting. I completed both. I flunked my advanced diploma in ship operations and management as I flunked my MICS today. So that's something I would like to recommend to anybody as a student. So. And then when you write advanced diploma, I remember one of the maritime lawyers, he was saying, "Hey, you have an advanced diploma. So does ICS give you an advanced diploma?" So that's something that helped. And it also adds to the credit of your PQE is something which is definitely an added bonus. The subject that I did, apart from what I was doing, was shipping law, a very tough subject, but it invigorated my knowledge in the maritime law. So in short, you choose something that compulsory you can't avoid. You choose what you're already doing or you are somewhere close to doing, and you choose subjects which you want to do. That way, you will have a very enriching experience when you reach the PQE.
So essentially, it's a very personal choice. Some want to just add on to their current knowledge. Some want to gather knowledge which is not available to them. It's a very personal choice, honestly, and that's something which you and probably a very near mentor or a close friend can help you to address. Thanks Anupam Haroyaran for your inputs. Let me address question from Captain Jaspreet and also a similar question from Ritesh as well. So essentially, the question is about MBA and ICS, right? And I'll probably pick on Krishnan sir and Jyoti to answer this question. So Krishnan sir, you mentioned you wanted to do an MBA, you did ICS. How does a person choose between that? That's number one. And number two, if a person has done an MBA, how would ICS add value to that person? So maybe Krishnan sir, you can come first, and then I'll ask Jyoti.
First of all, it's not to discount the value of an MBA versus a certification, and there are two different purposes. And again, it was purely based on my goal at that point of time. Probably if I'd done 10 years later, when I was moving into management positions, I would have probably said, "Oh, I should have done the MBA first," right? So it's two different the market or the aspiration which it is catering to. This is a professional qualification which you are getting to go deeper into that subject to help you do that job better, and therefore you're becoming a specialist in that. So, for example, I chose tanker chartering because that is what I had just started doing. I wanted to specialize in that, and I went on with that with Shell, and then I moved into a ship owner's house managing commercial for them, right? So that is what helped me. Then, of course, I chose ship operations and management because I found that much easier from a theoretical point of view, and it is closely related to the operations and the tanker chartering part of it. And the third one I chose was port agency, which again, from a chartering point of view, there is close linkage. So this is where I would suggest that don't just go by the familiarity of the subject for you. Ask people, seek guidance, and then, of course, look at the last 1 or 2 papers, look at from an examination passing point of view. That's why I put it in the chat box also. Please look at the past exam papers. Syllabus should be the starting point, which will give you a flavor of what are the type of questions being asked and what are the type of answers expected out of you. Even that guidance is available for the last 3 exam papers.
Thank you, sir. Jyoti, you hire people, MBA, ICS, what does it matter? What is your suggestion to put to the candidates?
So yeah, when you are entering into the commercial shipping, I mean, an ICS definitely holds way more weightage simply because we don't, like in the company itself, there are already, people of seniority, and no one likes to teach you basics in shipping. I mean, ICS is a groundwork for shipping, you know. So giving that, it is important if you're entering in this industry, you must know and have the knowledge which is available. Of course, hands-on knowledge is something which comes with experience and with work when you are in the work front. But giving an ICS exam definitely holds a lot more weightage and gives you a chance to understand the subject when you are, actually experiencing it during your work.
Sure, sure.
And also, I wanted to add to people who'd like to consider entering commercial shipping and considering giving the exams. As I was highlighting that India's move towards shipping is going, you're going to have a lot more job openings. It's very important to identify where are the development areas like ship recycling or offshore, or if you are able to position yourself and decide that this is the field that I'd like to enter into, and it gives you a little different skill set, your knowledge base in which it kind of repositions you and keeps you away from the competition which is available in the market. So it gives you that little edge because you are aware of, for example, sale and purchase, which obviously relates to ship recycling. Gives you a good edge when you are entering that field. So understanding which country you are in and the requirement available in the market is also very important while considering which paper to take.
Valid point. Thank you so much for your insights, Jyoti. Just summarizing on that question of MBA and ICS. So MBA is a degree, ICS is a professional qualification. I think you should have both, especially if you want to be in the commercial shipping, and MBA will give you that management experience. ICS will give you the network and the commercial expertise. Interesting question. The next one from Kiran PCH. He's done masters in pharmacy, pharmaceutical analysis, and quality assurance. Is there opportunity for a person like him? And it's maybe he's asked his query from his side, which is pharmacy, but maybe someone could be from a very different background as well. Maybe hotel industry, aviation industry. Do we feel there is an opportunity for people from different industries?
So
Anupam or Jyoti, please go ahead, please.
So Gaurav, even I'm a bee farm.
Was it the question someone who's following you? Maybe is that a question from one of your followers? Probably. But please go ahead. I think it'll be interesting to know from you. Wait.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's how I entered the small tanker segment, because that was related to a lot of liquid bulk chemical movement, and my knowledge on the chemical fronts is fairly good. So giving it a better edge when I was handling those kind of cargoes. Yeah,
Awesome.
that is specific to bee farm.
Sure. Anupam.
So there are before I answer that MBA question, there are still many questions which I see on the chat regarding if I've done my second engineer COC, I've got a COC from outside India. Institute of Chartered Shipbroker exam is a certificate examination. As long as you can give the exam, there is no basic qualification required in terms of that you have to have a chief engineer's license or a second engineer's license or etc. As Mr. Krishnan mentioned, there were some people who were just in university doing their maybe BCom or graduation, and even they did their exam. So to to just summarize, there is no shipping requirement to do this course. As long as you can give your, if you know English, you have basic common sense, please go ahead and enroll and you can give the exams to start that. Talking about somebody, in fact, I'll just club. There was somebody from B Farm and then somebody who just asked, I am into crewing and I would like to pivot to commercial shipping. Uh, First, I will answer the crewing part. You have the most difficult job in the world, human resource. Humans are the most, I mean, they can, and especially if you're a recruitant, morning they have said they will join, afternoon they will say they're not join. And commercial shipping is all about talking to people and fixing ships or any other things. It's not only fixing ships, and many basically it's talking to people. And you know how to talk to people, you are a hit already in industry. So that is the most important point. So I mean, if you give this exam and if you come and ask, come into the network and that you have got a background of talking to people, you are most welcome to be a part of this commercial shipping industry. Number one, bee farm. I was actually going to say Jyoti is a bee farm, and that's what I raised my hand. And the thing is, whether it is bee farm, whether it is making toilet paper, whether it is making fans, whether it is making nuclear power, they all have to move via ships. So commercial shipping will stay forever, whichever industry you are in. So all I can say is back to the same. My vision is same. Do these exams, and you will you will get the value of it. But yeah, there are many more interesting questions.
Yep. Coming to that, and just adding on, in our course, Captain Ashok from JM, he teaches, and he says he's hired a couple of people who were in the hospitality industry, right? And he's very happy with their performance. So I think from any industry you could enter into commercial shipping. I'll probably move a little quickly with the questions. Okay.
I think somebody, maybe Krishnan sir can answer about exemptions because there are quite a few questions which have clubbed exemptions, various types.
Okay. I'll probably just come take the sequence and answer from.
Sorry.
No issues. So, question to Krishnan sir: would an ICS recognized shipbroker have an upper hand over a shipbroker who's not an ICS?
Just by putting the post-nominals is not going to be an advantage because you have many renowned brokers who are not ICS members, So again, I come back to the initial point. It's about how you leverage that, you leverage the network and then use that to your advantage. Yes, recruiters today who's aware of the ICS would put that as a not as a pre-qualification, but say, so when we do recruitment, we put that ICS preferred, if it is a related job, which is in ship chartering, which is in ship owning division, etc. We would say, but if it's a warehousing job, I work for transport, we are warehousing, I wouldn't say ICS preferred there because I would say something else, say like CILT, which focuses more on that. So we go as per the relevance for that particular job.
So it's like saying CS have preference, are preferred to get a job in the finance as opposed to a non-CA. It's maybe a similar correlate. All right. Captain Hemant, duration of the course. This is not a course. This is a professional qualification. You need to prepare and give the exams. The preparation time, I would say, depend on how much efforts you can give during that time, but could be from 1 month to 6 months. It depends on individual to individual. I'm just moving on with the next one. Pankaj, procedure for registering as a student. I think that's already been explained. Ankit, can we appear for exams from outside in India? No, I didn't understand that question, Ankit. You can give exams all around the world but just to be sure, but you need to select your center. If you need to change your center, you need to intimate your branch office, and I guess you can then change your center. Correct me if I'm wrong, Krishnan sir.
Sorry, the question was about change of exam center.
Yeah, we can change the exam center if supposingly for
Within
whatever reasons we can.
there is a minimum timeline for that because there needs to be arrangements to be done. So that's published in the website. Yeah.
Right. As Saket, I guess your question has been answered about when you can give the exams. Vikas, all right, because I guess it's a comment more than a question. Realme, you're a master. Your question has been taken up by Captain Anupam. All right, now coming to the exemption list, right? And there are a lot of questions. And Krishnan sir, if you could probably just explain in terms of what all exemptions are available, how can a person get an exemption, how many maximum exemptions can a person be eligible for? If you could explain all of that, please.
Yeah, so I've just shared the link there. So there's a complete list which is there in the ICS website. So exemption goes in two ways. One is if the candidate feels that yes, look up the list which is already there because these are already vetted and approved exemptions which are there. Somebody who has done Narottam Raji, there is an exemption depending upon which program they have done, how many subjects are exempted. It is already mapped out there. Right, so there are similar ones, but you find that your university or that particular exam is not there in the list, you could still apply. And that application goes directly to head office. The branch does not have any authority or say in exemption. It goes to the Global Education Committee, where they will look at the syllabus, they may ask for more information, and then based on that, they would say, yes, you are now eligible, and that goes into the list. Right? It's not a one, specifically for that particular. The moment you say you are from this university, you have done this particular course, this was the syllabus, these were the papers, etc., then that also gets added to the list. Of course, it's not coming free. If you noticed, the exemption fee is higher than the exam fee. It's deliberately kept that way that okay, you could say avoid writing the exam, but then I've seen people where even if they are eligible for exemption, they don't take the exemption, they write the exam because you go through the rigor of studying that, applying that in your exam paper, and that gives an added value in terms of enhancing your knowledge. Other than that, currently the maximum is going to be 4 exemption. Again, that was a revision which was just done last year, so probably some places it is still not updated. The maximum exemption is 4. There was a related question which I was answering in the chat box. Previously, I think, I don't know the technicalities because there were additional exemptions which were given for master mariners and I think the top 4, which was discontinued. So if you see the chart there, this is what some of you were referring to. It was changed from 2015, 2016, because earlier there were additional exemptions which were given right from second mate and to master and to chief engineers. But currently, it is only introduction to shipping for the 5 categories of seafarers. Plus, anybody with 1 year work experience can get an exemption in introduction to shipping.
All right. So anyone who's as a COC will probably get an exemption for 1 subject, and someone who's also worked ashore will get an exemption of 1 subject. Then basis on what course have you done or what qualification you have, I think you can get additional exemptions. So understood, sir. Thank you for that. Captain Sumit Dhal has a question that he does this course and he does this qualification of ICS. How would he know about the opportunities and vacancies after clearing the ICS? Number 1 is, of course, the network. And I don't know, Jyoti, would you want to take that up?
The network, as you rightly said, that builds on, when you are giving the exam, while giving the exam, and the friends that are created after, giving the exam, reaching out to Sea and Beyond, and, kind of approaching them when they are looking out. And then, also reaching out to the shipping companies available in there, which they are interested in. And as rightly said, that when the CV comes through as a ICS, it does hold weightage.
Please, Anupam.
I will do just one more thing because there were some questions of a person who said, "I've just done BSc Nautical Science and can I apply for it?" The answer is yes. Can he get exemptions out of BSc Nautical Science? He can apply to the head office, and there could be a possibility that they might give him because introduction to shipping, he's already done 3 years of BSc Nautical Science, so there could be a possibility. Uh, Secondly, the question about getting a job, how do you get a job after ICS? Uh, I will just give you a few examples. Sumit Roy, you have already mentioned. When I was giving my ICS, I had a gentleman who was from an agency house. When I say agency house, quite a few mariners are here. He used to actually do inward, outward clearance of ships. He used to board vessels with the pilot. He used to get documents done. And this is what his role was, purely agency house. And that also from a small place called Mangalore. He was in the port. He did this. I still remember in this 2006, his salary was 15,000 rupees per month. He gave the exam, ICS. He of course went through because he did not get any exemptions. His first job was with Cisco Bremer. Salary jumped from 15,000 to 75,000 rupees or 65,000 rupees at that time. Next, he was heading I met him after a few years. He was heading the dry bulk division of SSY. So you can just see a lot of people must have seen the value at 22,000 rupees for a subject, etc., etc. I mean, if you put your mind in the right position and you position yourself well, all this money will be recovered soon. So there is no guarantee. ICS is a certification. It does not guarantee any job, and no course in this world guarantees a job. You have to do it yourself. You have to market yourself. But yes, suppose tomorrow, Sumit, the biggest example, when as soon as he finished his ICS, he reached out to us. We all helped him. Krishnan sir helped. We were all helping him. So it all boils down to yourself to get a job. But that initial effort, if you get an ICS, will always help. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Captain Rana, I wanted to add something, if you allow me.
Yes.
Sorry, can I add something? Yes.
Yes.
Actually, the value part, I just wanted to add something on the value part. Krishnan sir mentioned something, and a couple of you also mentioned certain strategies. If somebody is looking forward for value can be extracted in multiple ways. Networking is one. And we the professionals, experienced professionals in the industry, we are all, we can be contacted. That is number two. But before that, the strategy that needs to be done is you look at the examinations. When are all they timed? Most of the times there are 2 exams scheduled on the same day. So if you do not plan your examinations well, it's quite likely that you might end up appearing for the 2 exams on the same day. So many times I've seen that students doing this mistake. My own colleagues, my own seniors and juniors have done this mistake. So first thing I would request is see the entire schedule for the year. The examination schedule is published on the website. The May schedule as well as the November schedule is published well in advance. So it can be strategized in such a way that you take it apart. One thing. Second thing is you can either decide to take it in 1 year or take it in 2 years. You must make this plan very clearly because there is a student entry fee. So if you think somebody was asking, can I do it? Can I lay it over a period of years? Firstly, yes, you can. But if you do that, you will be incurring cost. It's like you are in college for many years, you will continue to pay tuition fee irrespective of whether you appear for the examination. So the idea is either you finish it in 1 year or you spread it over to 2 years so that you pay only 2 years of student fees. And if you book your subjects well in advance, you can at least enjoy 35 to 40% of your fees, which from 22,000 goes down all the way up to 14,000 rupees. So I did that. I did plan my examination. I planned 4 examinations in 1 year and 2 in the next year. Of course, as Krishnan said, there is no advantage to have the exemption because it's if not costly, it is as costly as writing an examination. But I simply did not want one more examination because I had done all my examinations. So I just took the exemption and I finished it. So you can save on cost. And if you actually calculate that 40% will translate to 2 subjects. So you will be actually doing 6 subjects for the cost of 4. So that's another strategy you can apply for people who, and do look at the timetable, because I have seen my friend who was discouraged from writing after one attempt because he said, I can't study so much. I can't write so much. Many of us do not have the habit of writing. So if you strategize it well, you will be able to do it. That's what I wanted to add as my personal experience.
Thank you so much, Hariharan. I think that's a very valid perspective, and you're the person who plans. Unlike me, probably just thought one day and just started giving exams. But a great perspective on how do you should plan, and ICS gives the schedule way ahead in advance.
Well
right?
ahead, yes.
That's very good. So I will probably take the questions fairly quickly now. We've already approaching the 2-hour mark. So Shiju, the question is 1.07 lakhs tutorship, which mentioned was for 7 subjects or for 1 subject. I guess it's for 1 subject. Correct, Krishnan sir? It was in the presentation which Jyoti did. It's for 1 subject. If I have and that's from ICS though. But there are other means of preparing as well, which I will probably talk a little later. Lokesh, you have a non-Indian COC. Can I give exams in India? Yes, you can. I will probably answer a few questions which I know, and I'll come back to the panelist for further advice. Work experience refers to sea time or shore experience. It could be either. Both get one exemption of at least 1 paper, Introduction to Shipping. How long does it generally take to become a member after clearing the exams? As soon as you clear the exams, you just need to give the application. And I would assume in not more than a month's time, Krishnan sir, we should receive you should receive an email of you becoming a member. How to prepare for ICAS? Is tutorship compulsory to be taken, or could it be done through self-study? Shivam, you can do it through self-study. Many do it that way. But if you want to just save time, you want some support, there are tutorships available. At C and Beyond, we have a tutorship, an online tutorship, wherein we have about 7 to 8 subjects. Each subject has about 10 hours of learning. So you could take that and follow. Once you complete that, and before the exams, we also have a doubt clearing session. So you can have a one-to-one conversation with the tutors as well. Or there are other options which are available with ICS Mumbai as well. How do Samsung SMEs, how do you study before giving the exams, or tutorship is mandatory? As I said, it's not mandatory. What different subjects available? How long does the course take? I think we've already explained this earlier, so I'm not repeating it. Do we need to pay student fee before applying and booking the exams also? So there is a registration fees which you need to pay, and then you need to select the exams, and then you need to pay a fees for that particular the number of exams, the number of subjects which you select, right? That's how it goes. But I think I'll just impress this point again, that if you do it before September, you get 2 cycles within the same registration fees, right? So I encourage everyone to kind of utilize both the cycles, the entire year, for you to prepare, and it also gives you a longer time for you to prepare. Harish, how about career elevation? If you quit sailing, moving to commercial shipping after, I think Harish, your question came about 45 minutes earlier, and I think we've discussed about the value enough and more times. If it's not been answered, you may please write again, and I'll come back to it again. At what stage would a student apply for exemption, and what is the typical process? I think you should apply as soon as you register, you'll know what all exemptions will you get, or even before registration you can apply. The whole process was explained by Krishnan sir. He showed the page, he's given the link down below wherein the process is explained. There is an email ID where you need to send your details. I think all of that is available in the link below. Krishnan sir posted that link. Krishnan sir, please go ahead, sir. You'd like to speak more about it?
Yeah, just a correction. You can apply for exemption only after you register as a student, but you pay the exemption fee only after the exemption is approved.
Awesome.
You don't pay the exemption fee before that. Yeah.
All right. Anuj, again, I think your question has been answered. You asked what kind of exemptions are available. Okay. Dinesh Kumar, from job security point of view, based on job description in chartering and as shipbroking, how is AI going to affect this in the coming future? Is it going to complement or cause major disruption? Okay. I leave it to Krishnan sir, maybe, and Jyoti, if you would like to take this answer, or Anupam, whomever.
I would say that the simple answer is that we will stop talking about AI in the next 6 months. It will become so commonplace, mandatory. I mean, seriously, I was in a conversation with the AI university just last week in Mumbai. And I say this is just another 6 months where people will stop talking about it as a separate conversation point. Nobody talks about using Google or a laptop or a smartphone today. It'll become like that. So it's not going anywhere. It's only a question of, but I would suggest that, again, looking at from a recruiter's perspective, one of the first questions I asked today is that, what is your base knowledge of AI? How are you using it? How are you learning more about it? How are you adopting it and adapting it? I know 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds who are running their own companies and set up on AI. Absolutely. Right? So that's where the world is moving. It is becoming a part and parcel. In our own company, we are running AI sensitization program right from leadership to everybody in the company. We have got a separate competency map for AI embedded into all the jobs now. So therefore, it has become part of the recruitment tool also. Therefore, it is no longer optional. And those who fear it or fail to adapt or not run in the same speed are the ones who would probably be at a disadvantage. So use it to your advantage.
Thank you, sir. Jyoti, would you like to add? Already, sure. Anupam, please go ahead.
This was absolutely right by Mr. Krishnan. I mean, AI is definitely going to be an obsolete topic because it's going to be a part and parcel of our daily lives. And, it has already enhanced, the quality of work that is coming out. And all companies who want to be in the, want to make, who are running with time are already, kind of imbibing AI. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
A quick one. AI is a tool, will remain a tool. Garbage in, garbage out. Quality stuff in, quality stuff out. Simple as that. And AI is here to stay. And yes, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Humans will continue to rule this planet. Don't worry.
Yes. Thank God for that. Right. Rishikesh has a technical question. You, Krishnan sir. I guess there's a 5-year examination completion period. So does that 5 years start from the time you give your first attempt or from the date you enroll in the ICS? I am also not aware of it. Need your inputs.
It's technically it is based on the first registration which you do, but then based on circumstances, even extension is given. But believe me, this 5 years rule was set when there was only one exam per year. So I wrote the exam when it was only once a year, in April, May. Then only the November exams were introduced. But this will also fade away. As I mentioned, we are working on the digital exam. There's a whole lot of things which will change in the next 2 years. But those who are starting now, I would say 5 years is a long period. There are candidates who have done all 7 papers in one sitting and cleared them also. I mean, I'm taking Sumit's name. He did all 6 papers while sailing in one sitting and passed all of them in one sitting.
Wow. That's nice. Right, sir. So that answers the question. Ajay, your question has been answered. Rihan, your question has been answered. Sahana has a question. She is 3 years in break bulk project cargo shipments, and she's now in Dubai, and wants to make the best use of ICS to expand her network and her role. Uh, how could she do that, sir? And since you're in Dubai, I think you're the best person to probably answer that.
So Middle East, as ICS, we do an event almost every 2 months. We just had one last week where we had 200 people in the room. So these are just the monthly or bi-monthly event. Our annual event attracts about 500 people now. And of course, then the wider network. Yes, in terms of number of members, we are about say 300, but then we are connected with the wider industry here through various forums. So do reach out and can get connected to the branch here.
Absolutely. Thanks, sir. Just for everyone to know, ICS has a branch in Vancouver. Gurvinder will hopefully connect to them. He's in Canada. Ankush, if you have sea time, that will also count as a work experience, and that you can use to get an exemption as well. Rishikesh, ICS does organize seminars, webinars, networking. You are in one of those events right now, and believe me, in India, I think there will be even more networking sessions which would happen. Bharat Santosh has a question. He's doing his master's in University of Piraeus, Greece, starting this September, and planning to do a PQE alongside it. Two questions. Do shipbroking desk in Piraeus hire international students without Greek EU work rights? I don't think anyone can do that. But second is, should he sit for his ICS exam in May 27 or wait for his course to finish, which will probably be in September 27? Any thoughts, Christian sir?
I would say quick answer is our Greek center is one of the biggest and the most active ones, which is a dedicated international teaching center, and the branch is also managed by them. Please get in touch with them. The contacts are there in the website, or I can provide that. Many of the students, while doing their college program, they do the exam. So and it becomes, first of all, you are in that mode of studying, it becomes easier to do that. And then, of course, when you're applying for a job, even if you're a student, I've seen this happening now. Even if you put in your CV that I'm an ICS student, I'm writing the exam for these papers, there are employers who say, okay, at least this person is making an attempt. Let me see what they are worth.
Valid point. Thank you. Anupam, you want to add?
No, I mean, I was just going to say Greece is one of the most busiest shipping places, and their branch is also very, very busy. So, yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to say. He should reach out to them, and if he finishes his course along with an ICS also, the golden boy.
Okay. Yeah. Gaurav, your question has been answered. Ankush, your question has been answered. I think same for Shivam. Taranjeet, Christian sir has answered your question, given a link as well. The impact. KK, your question is, if not having shipping experience does not carry that edge, then how does it impact hiring prospect? I'm not able to understand the question very well, KK. Okay, you have. Okay, Anupam.
I think what he's trying to say, if he does not have any shipping, no background, and if he does this course, that is the reason. If you do this course, you will be part of the ecosystem and you will be accepted. So actually, this is, as I said, this is not only for people who are in the ecosystem. It is for people who are not in the ecosystem. You do this exam. There is no pre-qualification required that you need to have some marine engineering degree. So please attempt, and then you become part of the ecosystem. That's the whole idea of this certification program.
Awesome. Thanks. Jatin, you want to give more than 7 exams? That's very good. However, as Krishnan sir says, no advantage from a membership standpoint. You may not become an extra ICS, but it gives you a lot of more knowledge. As Datta, subject exemptions, Krishnan sir has given the link. Okay, Gaurav. Gaurav, I think you're from a crewing background and you want to understand that what challenges you may face. I think rather than the challenges, as Captain Anupam explained to you, you are in a very good place, right? You manage uncertainties, you influence people. Those are the two key skills which are required in the commercial side. So I think you should be able to leverage your experience, once you enter into the shipping in the commercial side. Shivam, depending on the level of exams, can we prepare it through self-study? You absolutely can. For a seafarer, what could be the roadmap with specialization in tanker chartering? I think, Vignesh, we've probably answered your question already. If you have a specific question, it's a very generic one. If you have a specific one, please write down, or maybe we can ask you to speak as well at a later stage. Okay, Ankush, your question has been answered. Sagar, are commercial shipping jobs companies concentrated in a specific region, hub around the world? Is it in your knowledge if Barcelona, Spain caters to such jobs if I decide to go ahead with it? Krishnan sir, global chairman, you should be able to, I mean, if you could give your reviews on this, please. I have no clue on this. Is Spain a place where commercial shipping is happening?
Well, the short answer is yes, but in terms of the work permits, etc., things are not the same which was there 4 or 5 years back. That's unfortunate in terms of and changing rules every time. So any country out there, whether it is UK or even US, you never know what's going to be announced by in the next by Monday morning. So that's an ever changing scenario. So that's where you should target the hubs where predominantly there is acceptance, whether it is India itself, as Jyoti rightly mentioned. I'm always encouraging now when I speak to university students, please look at India as your first option. Yes, you may still say that yes, salary levels are better, living conditions are better. But today, I came to Dubai 30 years back. I would say my savings are much less than today as compared to what it was 30 years. The saving potential, right? Because costs have gone up substantially. So that's why there are many people willing to move back because opportunities in India are getting better, and even salary levels, and therefore generally if I would say if your housing is sorted out, the living conditions are also getting much better. So look at the hubs. Still, if you're looking at something outside of India, look at the hubs in terms of whether it is Singapore, whether it is Hong Kong, depending upon what kind of profile, and of course Dubai.
And my 2 cents here, Sagar, is that it's a little difficult to get your first opening in a new industry and a new geography. So if you're planning to move geography, at least cater to the industry. So get into commercial anywhere in the world, and then your chances of getting to a new geography, increases. Right. Rishikesh, could you advise on how and where to look for job opportunities for commercial shipping? So, Rishikesh, of course, ICS would through network would help, but just for you to know, CN Beyond is partner to about 330 plus companies worldwide. We've got a lot of companies whom we cater to for their job opportunities. You may connect to us, write to education@cnbeyond.com, and we could connect you to our recruitment team. So that's also one of the ways to get into the where you would know about the opportunities. Shreyash, which section or field of commercial shipping will boom in India or world? Interesting question. Jyoti, would you want to come in over here?
All.
All. The question is, which section or field of commercial shipping will boom in India?
There is no right answer to this. I mean, but in my view, the shipbuilding, ship recycling markets are quite dynamic and actually are doing fairly well. Looking at the way the PMO is promoting Make in India and the kind of the the kind of infrastructure that the country is building for shipbuilding in India. I'm looking at, I would say S&P would be a very interesting place to be.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would add that look at in two different. Jyoti rightly mentioned that specific word in terms of one is infrastructure in India, right? That is number one in terms of port and terminals, warehousing. This massive development and opportunity. In fact, let me share you my the what keeps me awake at night is that how am I going to get the right people? And seriously, this is a worry of companies and recruiters today, right? And secondly, look at the jobs which can be done, which are with the international ones. So broking is something you are sitting in India, but you are doing a global job, right? Shipping finance. There is a major project on tokenization of ships, and there is a paper being presented on the 15th of July in Delhi, where there's a sandboxing is being done at IFSC. There's a major development coming there along with the regulation in terms of shipping finance. There's a P&I project which is already underway. There is some headway already done. So you look at multiple sectors, whether it is insurance, finance, and there's this massive amount of change which is coming in. And we were at a seminar last week in Mumbai where DG Shipping, they presented about the whole gamut of the new the acts which has been passed in 2025. So it is huge. The opportunities in India, I would say, is tremendous.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to highlight few of the policies that I think people should really look into. One is obviously the Maritime India Vision 2030, the Sagar Mala program, the Amrit Kal Vision 2047, even the Harit Sagar Green Port guidelines. I feel these are, things they really need to look at to realize where India is going.
Yep. Of course, India shining. Ankit's question, passing marks for each subject. I guess it's 50 marks, sir. Yeah, 50 marks, right? Captain Sumit wants to know about arbitration, and I guess we should leverage Hariharan here. He is a member of the Institute of Arbitrators, and so Hariharan, if you could please, guide all of us. In fact, how do you get into arbitration as well?
Okay, I like to make a clarification here. I'm not in the Association of Arbitration, but I am in the Association of Average Adjusters. Basically, it is to do with the marine insurance claims and adjusting.
Right.
So, I mean, if his question is specifically to arbitration, I may not be able to answer that. But just adding one or 2 points, I've seen some questions on war affecting the shipbroking industry, the most interesting industry. And I mean, the chairman, that is Mr. Krishnan, also touched upon this Bharat Maritime insurance pool, which we call it as BMIP now. So, I mean, India, I mean, if you take all the subjects of ICS, if I put it in a very, very, fancy way, you pick all the subjects of ICS, and all these subjects are booming and glooming industries of India today. Be it ship sale and purchase, be marine insurance, be it shipping law, or tanker chartering, all of these are budding. And it's not a cliche answer. This answer is, in reality, Indian maritime sector is yet to arrive, but we are growing at a very, very fast rate. So as far as my industry is concerned, I'm very happy that the marine insurance industry has got ample focus because of this crisis that has happened, the West Asia crisis. So just answering your question in a shipbroking angle, since we are all in the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, let me tell you that the shipbroking industry all of a sudden has had to amend the ways of their negotiations, because the availability of ships, the geographies, the sudden parcel size change, the charters and traders having differential requirements, the rates booming, and then the uncertainty of transits, the rates of AWRP, the war risk. In fact, there are so many insurance professionals who did not go through the terms of war risk for a very, very long time, because I mean, just keeping the fingers crossed, in India, no ship owner had ever had a claim on AWRP, that is additional war risk premium. Not a single claim in 15 to 20 years. So many of them had not even seen the draft of those, the wordings that were required to have that insurance. That was the level of, but which we were before 28th of February this year. And this year now, everybody has to go through every single term. We're looking for sanctions. We're looking for, even a basic STS today is happening with a lot of checks and balances, not understanding whether the cargo has a link to Russia, whether the cargo has a link to Iran or to other sanctioned locations. So shipbroking per se is the facilitator between two, for the supplier and between the supply and demand. So the rules have changed in the sense that we have to be updated all the time, and that's where the networking plays a major role. So when I talk about marine insurance, somebody who's listening will gain a cent or two, and when you talk, I gain a cent or two. So that plays a great role. With respect to my industry, everything has changed. So it's continuously changing every single day. My cases have changed, and I'm observing that the incidents all of a sudden have got a different angle. Everybody started looking into the terms, whether the claim will be honored, will not be honored. Well, those questions did not come before 28th of February. So yes, there is the great amount of upskilling that needs to be done today.
Thank you, Hariharan. And sorry, I
That's all right.
Just to add to that, tomorrow I'm doing a 4-hour session for an industry group here, exactly on contract gaps and resilience.
So that's the most relevant topic presently. I today, as we speak, there's another session by one of my colleagues who's doing a webinar on valuations. See, what happens, sir, is maybe it's not immediately relevant, but in case in a war location or in an insured scenario, if your vessel goes through a total loss, many of the ship owners have a strategy of not having their insured value so high that they don't want to pay so much of premium. But now the scenario has come when your vessel may be in a total loss. So if you have an undervaluation and you have a total loss, you actually lost that opportunity of making good the money of the valuation that your vessel demands. And if it is a general average, you again lose. So, even a subject like valuation has all of a sudden become very important, and many people are interested in knowing what could have gone wrong and what should not go wrong.
So, for the sake of let me tell you, this is in my list to learn marine insurance more deeper.
Yes, sir.
From the cargo side and went into the ship owning side. Is that some of the, like Mr. Hariharan and the general average adjuster, we don't have many of Mr. Hariharan in this world, forget about adjusted here.
Yes, true.
Right?
Yes.
And that's yes, you should have a certain liking for that. I still remember the first session of Mr. Tony Fernandez I attended in Dubai in 1998, I think. Yeah. Where that's the first time I heard about it, and ever since I've always been fascinated about it and learned more about it. ICS helped a lot for that. In marine insurance, arbitration, and I would say the combination of arbitration, insurance, and average edges is a very lethal one. You have a job for life, or maybe even many lives. So I would say that get into it, get your hands dirty, feet dirty, etc., and then explore. The ocean or the sky is the limit, or even beyond that.
True, sir. I take it as a compliment. And one more thing I want to tell you is there are only 7 qualified professionals in India who hold the membership of the Association of Average Adjusters of UK.
There you go.
Only 7. And globally, less than 250 are associates, 12 are senior associates, and 42 majorly located in London. So it's a very, very small group and a very niche group of marine insurance professionals. So yes, I think I can claim to have done something right. Yes.
Awesome, Aryan. That's very, and we're fortunate enough to have you in our committee and of course in this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
On to the next one, Ajay Singh, an ETO sailed for 10 years. He's in Norway and he wants to give ICS. So I think the first question is which subject, and I guess Ajay, probably we could have a separate one-to-one discussion, but it depends on what would you want to do, right? Which can probably come separately. But I saw you have a follow-up question down below as well, that if you're in Norway, which branch do you can you enroll? I guess Norway doesn't have a branch, so would it be UK, Sweden? Can you enroll in any of the branches, Krishnan sir? Since
So
Norway
as
have a
we
branch.
speak, we do have exam centers there because we have an ITC, if I remember right, it's in Sweden. And let me also give you advance information. There is a new branch formation discussion happening in Sweden, which will cover Norway also. But till that time, yes, you could write to head office and they would guide you. But exam center, I'm sure that they are managing it.
All right.
Then we have, of course, Denmark. We have got one branch in Denmark already.
Right. Ajay, your question on which subject, I think that let's take offline that. Menon has a question. Once the tutorship fee is paid, the study course material, has that a time limitation, sir? From ICS?
I think yes, because there are tutors who are assigned to that particular session. So there will be a time limit. Because these are paid sessions, even the tutors are paid and appointed to cater to that student's requirement.
Okay. If you take it from C and beyond, it's for 1 year. You will get the tutorship, the video for 1 year. Saurabh Tendulkar has a question: is the membership charges different, and if yes, how much? There are 2 types of membership. You become a member, you become a fellow, and the charges for both are different, obviously. Sahana, I guess your question has already been answered. Okay, as that if one registers before September, how can one be eligible for 2 cycles? So basically, the exams happen twice in a year, one in November and the other in March. So if you register before September, you will be eligible for both the cycles. But if you do it after I think the cutoff date will be in August. If you register after August, then you will probably be eligible for only 1 cycle. Mohammed, I answered your question. Arjun, that's a valid question, and Krishnan sir, maybe if you could take this. A few publications, textbooks of ICS may be a little older. That's what Arjun says. Are we expecting an update on these textbooks? Would you give us a view on that, sir?
Absolutely. So first of all, say that the textbook to some extent reflects the syllabus, but it doesn't guarantee that everything covered under the syllabus and exam you will get from the textbook, even if it is an updated one. So updation is a continuous process. We just completed one on LMT and launched it just 2 days back. That's a continuous process. There are 3 subject books which are under revision now. And because that goes through the education committee, industry, consultation, etc. So there are a couple of them which are in progress, which may not be available for this exam cycle. So as I said, the updation are all with respect to what happens in the industry, what new things have come up, what is obsolete. So those are the kind of updations which are done. But if you look at the basic principles which are there, maybe 50% of that doesn't change for almost like 10 years or even more than that. The basic principles. So here again, I would go back to my initial suggestion, go through the exam papers, which are fantastic starting point, where even the examiner's guidance today, it has again evolved. In earlier days, they never used to give out so much information. Today, you can literally reconstruct an answer based on the examiner's comment. And 3 years paper is available on the ICS global website for anybody to download and then prepare.
Great, great. Thank you, sir. Rihan and Aditya, you have a similar question, and I'll come to it later. You want a career path to be defined, and maybe I'll ask Captain Anupam to take it at the end. It'll take a little longer, but let me take up the other questions. Sahana has a question. Christian sir, how can she register for the monthly events happening in Middle East?
Yeah, it's icsmiddleeast.org, admin@icsmiddleeast.org, and you can get in touch with me. I can also connect with you.
Okay. Ankush, does advanced diploma help you give you an edge in your CV? Absolutely, it does for the broking chartering role. Okay, Rihan, again, we'll come back to your question. Captain Sumit, do we need to have a LLB degree to enter into arbitration? As far as I know, I don't think so. Krishnan sir, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, arbitration is more of business knowledge. It's not mandatory to have a law degree.
Right. Sumit, if you want to know a little bit more about arbitration on our website, C and Beyond website, there are a panel of experts, and a couple of them are arbitrators. You can have a one-to-one discussion with them, and they can actually guide you on how they became or how you could the pathway for an arbitrator can be. Rishikesh, your question is answered. Ankit, there's a question. Is there an exam center in Cyprus? Sir, is there one?
Yeah. There's a branch also.
All right. KK, so I think if you are from a maritime background, would it help to enhance career prospects? I think it would definitely, because you've seen the ship, right? Might take a little bit longer for a non-mariner to totally understand, the operations. But someone who has actually seen a ship, it becomes a little easier. But once you move ahead in time, I think it all evens out. But still, a mariner typically may have a little bit more edge. And I think now I come to the last question, and that's from Rihan and Aditya. It's about laying a path roadmap for them in terms of becoming a broker from maybe they're studying in a college and they want to become a broker. If you can lay a path for them, Anupam. And while you do that, I'll probably take a couple of polls in terms of the feedback and all. So please, Anupam, if you could do that.
So yeah, thanks, Gaurav. So yeah, a lot of questions on the how path. So the path will be right time, right opportunity. Where you when you give your exam, you may not really. It is not that suppose you give your ICS exams today, and then immediately after ICS exams you will get a job as a broker or as in the operations. It could be like I can tell you about myself. 2006, when I gave the exam, my first job was a training and meeting superintendent on board vessels. So it had got nothing to do with commercial shipping. It had got nothing to do with ICS. But I still gave the exams. But over the period, I got the role of a business development manager. In that, I happened to get a job I got an opportunity to fix an offshore vessel, which I didn't know what it was. So, but why I can give you two instances where ICS has particularly helped me. So I know roadmap I mean, I understand what you're saying that, okay, I will do this, then I will become a broker, then I become a senior broker, then I junior. It doesn't work like that. You give the exams, what opportunity comes your way is going to be decided by where you are. I can just give you two very interesting examples. One, when I got an opportunity to fix an offshore vessel, I had no clue what it was, but because I had a little bit of background of the tanker chartering and dry cargo chartering, I at least knew there was something called a BIMCO website. So I went to the BIMCO website, I looked up at the charter party agreement for an offshore support vessel, and that's how at least I could and I could do something. So that was example number one. Example number two, again, almost 15 years after that, 2006 plus, yeah, we got 10 years after that, no, almost 15 years, we got an opportunity to commercially and technically manage a bulk carrier. Now, what had happened was I had studied dry cargo chartering, but almost 10, 15 years, I had never fixed a vessel of bulk carrying. But interestingly, I had done that exam. And I had my books. So I got my book again. I actually started seeing what the different charter party agreements and the terms and clauses are there for a bulk carrier. So this is how education has helped all of us, not only me, in various times of our life. So if you want to know a roadmap that as soon as you finish, see, this is not that if you finish like 4 years computer engineering, you will become a computer engineer. This is a certificate program. It is not that if you do your BSc Nautical Science, your first step is a cadet, then you do your so many months at sea, then you become like third mate, second. There is no defined path. Here, your path can be exactly depending on right time, right opportunity. And right now, as Krishnan sir and Jyoti has again and again said, and you know, I am no, I don't follow any particular party politically, and this is not a forum. But the Indian government per se has suddenly woken up for shipping. I don't know why, but there is so much of that funds are not probably reaching us also at this point of time. It is reaching bigger organizations, but there is such a big focus. So right now it is right time, right opportunity, and people will be required. You will be grabbed. And there was a question that non-mariners will flood the market. They are already flooding the market. What are you guys doing? You have to do something which can get you into the into the. So that is why an ICS is a good forum. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. As you rightly mentioned, that there is maybe no structured path. You have to build your own path. How well you build that path, that depends only on yourself. I'm taking a couple of polls. The first one was, do you want to become a member of ICS? I think 77 say yes, 23 are not sure, but whatever your doubts are, you could write to ICS and we would we'll help you, support you. How many of you would like to have a support for your ICS preparation, and what kind of support would you want? So if you could answer that poll as well. And I think after this, I will have one more poll and taking a feedback from all of the attendees, remaining attendees, 50% of what we started. But I think, let me just, impress upon one point, that getting 2.5 hours out of Krishnan sir, Jyoti, Captain Anupam, Hariharan is next to impossible, and I can tell you that, right? Even before becoming an ICS member, even just to understand how do you become an ICS member, you've managed to get 2.5 hours. Try that at any point of time, and I can bet upon anything that you will not be able to. So the proof of ICS, is here. 2 hours of their undivided attention.
I did not look at the clock. When I looked at the clock just a couple of minutes back, then I realized that.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the proof which anyone, if we wanted to get that, what's the value that ICS brings. Here they are, 50% of the people have left, right? but they are still here, and they are here to support you. So I don't think we need any other proof. But let me just end this poll and share results. 70% of you would like to have a support on the ICS qualification. Most of you are looking at all the above. So most of you need support for books, exam preparation, registration. So of course, ICS Mumbai, CN Beyond as an RP, we could support you in all these ways. And I guess thank you first of all to all our panelists, Krishnan sir, Jyoti, Captain Anupam, Hariharan, for taking out time. As I said, it's valuable, very valuable time of yours which you have spent with us. And I don't think I have been managed to get that much of time in probably the last year or so. But it's really very insightful to have you here. To all the participants who managed to stay back for a good 2.5 hours, I'm sure you would have learned a lot, and I'm sure you would be able to utilize these learnings and just become a member of ICS. I mean, just give the exams, and I'm sure you will have a lot of value that you would get. Thanks everyone. Last final poll, which is on the feedback. No, sorry, I gave the wrong poll. 1 second. I will. Okay, here is the poll question which is on your screen. Were your expectations met? Was the session useful, and how would you rate the session? More importantly, if there's anything which we could have done to make it a little bit better, do put it in the chat window, and we should be able to support you. I wouldn't keep you waiting, Krishnan sir, Jyoti, Captain Anupam, Hariharan. Thank you for your time. I will hopefully manage the session. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Gaurav.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you, Mr. Krishnan, for joining in ahead.
All the best.
And our committee.
Many times.
This is Captain Anupam and Mr. Hariharan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Great audience, ma'am. I mean, they've pulled in through 2.5 hours, and thank you.
2 hours, 42 minutes.
Yes. Thanks to Krishnan sir. Thanks to the committee. We rock.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye. Enjoy FIFA.
Yes. All of you have a good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Gaurav. Well done. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks, Captain
Gaurav. And CN Beyond team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.